So this goes back to because we were having people in chat. We've been discussing this is an ongoing theme where most days when we stream, TikTok is the most toxic chat we have, and I constantly have to moderate the TikTok chat because I choose to, and I don't have a moderator, so I do it. I
Restoration
do
is
it
a
all
perfectly
myself, right?
valid school of magic, and
Um,
don't let anyone
and
tell
so
you
we get a lot of people
otherwise.
saying, "Oh, the YouTube chat is so much better than the TikTok chat." It is. So we're always live on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. On YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, I can set they have to follow the channel for 10 minutes before they make a comment. And there's also a whole bunch of words. I have a list of words that we have put into the filters, and their auto mod systems are pretty stringent. So you can't post links. You can't say, so there's certain words that are automatically going to get blocked, like woke, slop, garbage, that kind of stuff. Anytime somebody tries to say DEI, it gets blocked. Like anytime someone calls something woke, it gets blocked. Like I weed out that stuff by having filters in place. And also the other step I take on YouTube is I have it to where you cannot comment on any video unless you are a subscriber of the channel. So there's an additional level on YouTube to before you can comment on anything, whether it's a live stream or a video. So I have barriers of entry across YouTube, Twitch, and Kick.
Why are
TikTok
my
does
research
not
materials
have
constantly
the same
disappearing?
tools. So it's a lot more of a wild, wild west environment when we're streaming because anybody can get into the TikTok chat and just spam whatever they want. And since there's no um, barrier of entry, I have to manually go in. And YouTube, or excuse me, Twitch has started to um, provide me with the option to ban certain words, but it's not as easy as going in to um, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick and putting because most trolls, if they have to follow you for 10 minutes before they can chat, you've immediately eliminated 99% of the trolls. They're not going to sit around and wait 10 minutes before they're allowed to spew their toxicity into the chat, right? And then if you also have a restriction in place where oh, you can't even chat period unless you're a follower of my channel, that eliminates the other. I get very, very, very little um, very few actual troll comments come through on TikTok because I have so many filters in place to keep that shit out. So that's why when we are streaming, you'll see a lot of toxicity showing up in the TikTok chat because we don't have those filters in place. And until the tools get better, I just have to keep an eye on it and moderate. I don't respond to the TikTok chat as much as I do the other chat, depending on the day. Um, so there are things that slip under the radar because of that. But I do look forward to the TikTok tools getting better. Bubbaloni says not to beat a dead horse, but I am proud of my support of you, being in part because of how firm you are against racism, homophobia, transphobia, and etc. I can recommend you to people I love and feel good about it. I thank you for that, Bubbaloni. Yeah, we banned 3 people yesterday in TikTok for being racist, misogynists, and anti-trans. Somebody, in particular, though, at the end of the I think it was at the end of yesterday's stream, was coming in talking about how trans developers can't make good games, and it was like, oh my god, like I don't know where these people come from, but I will happily beat those bitches out into the wild. Like, don't want you here. No, no. And it's great when you bring it up like this because someone in variable will like, but, and I can get rid of them too. So it's a nice way to just be like immediately filter out the idiots. But it is, it's it's the cost of being on TikTok, and it's the cost of being on any of these platforms. If you remember 2 years ago, YouTube and Twitch used to be just as bad. But over time, the filters have got better, and so we've very slowly weeded out all that shit. Like if you remember when we were playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard or the first Starfield playthrough. Goddamn, we had some. It was nasty. But thankfully, we've been able to, and again, with all those other platforms, which we have done in the past, when we've been the days when we've played games that are extremely controversial and they have many, many, many follow. We get 500 people tuning into the streams. Those of you who've been for a while remember that. I've had to go member only Because once you go member only on your streams, um, like YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, if you go member only, not a single troll will break through that barrier because no one's willing to pay money because they don't want to have to give you $5, right? They don't want to have to give you $5 to be able to chat. And so you can immediately, if you're playing something like Dragon Age Veilguard or Starfield where you know there's going to be trolls, just put it members only. By the way, guys, this is going to be getting its own full-length episode in the series on how to make a living as a content creator and streamer. I've been working on this in the background. There's a whole episode coming out on how to police your community and how to moderate trolls and how to moderate your streams. So if you're interested in that and this topic in greater detail, we will be doing a full episode on this for the series. So stay tuned for that. But that's why when we are streaming during these sessions, and we're always live on 4 platforms, and everyone always asks, "Oh my God, why is TikTok so bad?" That's why it's so bad, because it's just the Wild West, and people can stay all they want. So Lito says, "Oh, the stream is boring. Bye, bye. Like, do you announce your departures to the airports and the grocery stores? I'm sure you must feel special when you typed it into the chat, but you know the funniest thing about that, Relitos, is you did exactly what you were programmed to do. You clicked, you commented, you gave me your attention. I'm living in your head rent free, and I got you here. And you're clicking, commenting, and viewing my content, which pays my bills.
You
Love
know,
ya.
They say knowledge is its own reward.
Knowledge is its own reward.